Hello friends, in this video we will study about the topic the sociology of hate speech, and it is important topic for means 2024. We are covering this lecture in our sociology current series. So now first of all, in this lecture we will try to understand what is hate speech first of all. Okay, then we will go about the sociological dimensions of hate speech, how it inmates and how it affects the society, what is the political angle attached to it, how this operates in a new age media. Everything will be discussed with sociological angle through the different theoretical perspectives. So first of all, the hate speech definition has been given by United Nations as well as one of the thinkers, Parekh. So according to Parekh, hate speech expresses, encourages, stirs up, or incites hatred against a group of individual distinguished by a particular feature or set of features such as race, ethnicity, gender, religion, nationality, and sexual orientation. So, in short, they are targeting a set of people through primordial identities based on race, ethnicity, gender, religion, nationality, sexual orientation. You can add language as well, region as well. In a country like India, these are also the factors on which, or the grounds on which, hate speech is incited. Now, what is the targeted nature of hate speech? Hate speech is directed based on the identity, and it ascribes undesirable attribute to the target groups. So there will be some undesirable attributes or qualities or characteristics that they will attach with the target group. It may be due to maybe that they are someone who have different food habits diagonally opposite to our culture, something like this. It can be based on color of skin, that that particular skin color people are not capable enough or are criminal. Something they will attach, some kind of undesirable attribute which a particular society does not like. They will attach that particular attribute to those targeted groups. So now, what is the next step? The next step will be that this undesirable attribute promotes the view of target as an undesirable presence, leading to discrimination. The next step will be that first you identify certain groups and then identified undesirable attributes. Now, based on those attributes, you are starting discrimination, and that is legitimized because you have already given a reason for it, and that reason is not a very obvious kind of reason. The reason is mostly based on parameters which are emotive in nature, which all the group members ascribes to. Then only a kind of stir can be ignited among people. Now we will now understand the sociological perspective. We will discuss about different theoretical strands now. So first of all, it leads to social polarization, and a kind of collective consciousness of the group enhances the group which is hating other. Okay. So hate speech contributes to the polarization of social group based on primordial identities. And this polarization affects social solidarity and collective consciousness, creating division within society, but it enhances collective consciousness within the society. Say, for example, A society is creating hatred towards B. So that hatred will create division between A and B, but among the members of A, it will create a stronger collective consciousness. Okay. The use of hate speech can lead to the erosion of shared sense of identity and belonging within a community or nation. The second sociological dimension is relative deprivation and perceived injustice. This is one of the reason on or ground on which undesirable attributes or hatred is built. If you remember the story of Holocaust, then the Jews, even though they were minorities, they were portrayed as, first of all, the group of people who were responsible for the humiliation of Germany in World War One. The first thing. The second, they were hated because their numbers were less, but they were highly educated and hardworking, and thus they were dominating the employment venture, the business venture. They were dominating. So it was a kind of the value of relative deprivation was developed by Hitler, plus that they are not a nation lover. And then the racial parameter was attached to it. First, these factors were taken into account to generate that hatred. Okay, so individuals who feel relative deprivation may perceive their situation as unjust, especially when they believe that others in the reference group have more privileges or resources. So whether it was a kind of whether it was ethnic cleansing, or you say the bloodshed genocide which happened with Kashmiri Pandit in Jammu and Kashmir, that in that, apart from religion, one of the reason was also that they were dominating the socio-economic things. They were very highly educated. They were less in numbers, but they were dominating the educational economic fields. They were occupying the higher position because of their the cultural capital that they have. Okay, and the similar things were also attached with the Brahmins in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so this was one of the ground as well, apart from other grounds of historical injustice and all. Again, the feeling of relative deprivation was first attached with the people, and then that kind of movement took place, and that was based on hate also. Okay, this perceived injustice can lead to frustration and resentment, and at its final stage, it can be violent. It can turn into a genocide. Okay, initially they will express grievances. They will organize politically, and political parties will be organized on the basis of region, religion, language, and then it can turn into an event which will be extremely violent. And Nazi Germany was the prime example of it. Rwanda radio is another example of it. Okay, through Rwanda radio, they were constantly spreading hate, and then one day, what happened? There was a ethnic cleansing that happened there. There is Marxist perspective on hate speech. So they see it as a tool for power maintenance. From a Marxist perspective, hate speech is viewed as a tool to ensure the status quo of those who are holding power. Okay, and secondly, it helps perpetuate the dominance of certain groups by reinforcing stereotypes, creating fear, and legitimizing discriminatory practices. And that is what mostly the political parties in our country and in many other countries do. Hate speech serves to maintain social order by marginalizing dissenting voices. Okay. This is one of the tools through which you can shut the dissenting voices. And Gilbert has given this analysis, so you can include his name while you are writing any answer on hate speech. The another sociological perspective is that it legitimizes violence. Okay, so it often begins by dehumanizing the target group. It then serves to justify its negative action or attitude towards the targeted group. Over time, this can be normalized. Ultimately, hate speech can serve the purpose of legitimizing violence against the outgroup. You have seen such activities in Pakistan against minorities. They were around 11-12%, and now they are left 1 to 2%. You have observed this in undivided Pakistan, in Bangladesh. Millions of people died because of such hate speech, hatred that were developed, and then the deaths of lakhs of Bengalis were seen as something normalized because of this only. Now, the challenges of online hate speech, because now the hate speech can disseminate as quickly as it one can imagine, and it will be spread n number of times that the that a kind of echo chamber effect will happen, will appear. And algorithm works like this: if you are watching a particular kind of content, that type of content will come again, and then your beliefs, your stereotypes, your hatred will build further and further and further. And that is why we see in everything, we see a polarized kind of mindset nowadays. Political party, people either hate one political party or are the fans of political party, which was the thing which Dr. B.R. Ambedkar hated. He said, never be a fan of political party or a political person. They are just to serve you, and you will not be able to make the best of decision when you will be fan of them. You will not be able to judge your future on objective parameters. Or you see anything, you see a cricket fans, they are polarized. Football, they are polarized. In terms of religion, people are polarized. So you see any places, there is highly polarized groups, and that is because of online hate speech. Hate speech is not only religious, it can be of any kind. Okay, and it has global reach. Things can go and reach at a global level. The prime example is Islamophobia. So it is spread online at a massive scale. The prime example can be the hatred against Indians, that we people are lazy, we people are poor, we people are do not live in a hygienic manner. Many things are spread across the world against us as well. Gender stereotypes, gender hatred, etc. are also spread. So it's something which cannot be just uh, clubbed in one way. It is multidimensional. And the relative permanence of hateful online content is problematic, as it can resurface, regain popularity over time. Sometimes it will not gain popularity. Some political socioeconomic condition will happen, it will gain popularity, and it is amplified like anything through algorithm, as I said. Echo chamber effect. You have to mention this keyword. Now, how to combat hate speech? It is a societal challenge. So, first of all, promote education, inclusive education, education that emancipates you from all the primordial identities, education that is not hardcore orthodox religious in nature. So, education should be something which emancipate you, which leads you to critical thinking, which leads you to questioning. And that will only happen when the education is inclusive. The education is above identity, above caste, above culture, religion, language. So all of these, it should go above. That doesn't mean we should not respect our culture. Culture, the essential elements of culture will still be part. Like Vedic education has no harm. Spirituality has no harm. Bhagavad Gita has no harm. But it became harmful when you are making your values rigid and seeing other as inferior. Legislation implementing and enforcing law against hate speech can deter its use and protect vulnerable groups. Community action, encouraging community led initiatives to counter hate speech and promote inclusivity, can be effective at the grassroots level. We can have communities at village level, Sadbhavna committee kind of things. Uh, Technology develop better content moderation and algorithms, and government can itself counter hate speech or fake news, because fake news and hate speech are most of the times going hand in hand. So you need to remember all this. Thank you very much. Take care. Best wishes.